Good morning. It is Tuesday, September 15th, 6:16 a.m. Chicago time, and the calendar today has retail sales. This is our last major report before the FOMC meeting, and when we look at our projections, we're looking for lower retail sales in the previous report, a zero print, but a lower zero print, which is not going in the right direction. So a higher expected reading should be positive for the dollar, while a lower reading should be negative for the dollar. And we have mainly negative prints for the past periods. So I guess a zero print would be positive. That's pretty much a joke, but it's true. So anything with a black zero is good today. And that is the state of our economy. The retail sales probably will not come in well. Most of Texas is in a recession. I'm in Houston, and we are feeling the pain here. A lot of layoffs, and a lot of service related sectors are laying off as a result of the layoffs in the energy sector. So you got your hairdressers, you've got your pooper scoopers, you've got your, extra cable channels, all that fluff stuff is getting cut. So I can only imagine that the retail sales number is not going to be pretty good. It's probably going to have a negative number, I would guess. So with a negative number, that means that the dollar will be bearish. And I don't know what that's going to do to the equities. I mean, I'm beyond analyzing, how much of juice is left in that QE on the E-minis. I don't know what the Fed is going to do. They're in a box. They pretty much have to raise. They've already said that they're going to raise twice this year. That means October, December, if not September, December, or September, October. I know they don't want to raise in December. I mean, that's Christmas time. That's depressing. September, October, and then relax for the rest of the year. So we'll get 50 basis points to end the year out, I guess. My guess would be. So we'll see what happens to the E-mini. Right now, crude, this is a trend. We're in a short-term bounce off of the rundown from the summer. The refineries are coming offline, so there will be higher inventories, my guess. So I don't know if we'll pop up to the top of this Dunkian channel. It's not looking like crude wants to push higher into this 3-day range. And here is my 3-day range here. 1, 2, 3. So we're opening below the 3-day range, but we're pushing up to the previous range. So the settlement opened below the previous range, but the Asia session is pushing this up into the previous low right now. So whether this makes a turn and comes back, I'll have to wait. I'm in the no trade zone, and that's between ranges, between the value high and the value low of the previous range. So here's the value low of the previous range. Here's my current value high. So this is sort of like a dead zone for me. It can go either way. So I kind of wait to see if it's going to push up into this previous area and start chopping up and down. Maybe fill this part of the air pocket in. Maybe make this a great big base, a high volume node. Or it can just reject and come down on that retail sales figure. And just get the pain over and the party started on the downside. But on my shorter term time frame, here's the 30-minute chart. We have a consolidation like I was showing you on the other chart. So I sort of would expect to see a continued consolidation coming into the EIA report on Wednesday, unless the party gets started on that retail sales and this just starts pushing down, which will signal a sell-off. So we might have some opportunities in crude on a really bearish retail sales number. For my algo, I'm looking at several different things. I have charts set up to maximize the short-term opportunities as much as possible, and I use my VWAP bands for my overbought, oversold, bringing it back to the mean. So when you're in a range or in a consolidation, you want to trade these bands and bringing it back to the other side. And you see how this range is contracting. So we'll wait for that 730 print to come out and see which way this breaks out. I have another price action band that I like that tracks very well the way price action is moving inside the smaller. This is a 15 tick, 14 tick chart. I can't count, but you get a tick for slippage, 15 ticks. But I like the smoothness of this setting on my Unirinkos. And this I like to use because this is my stop loss. I use a 15 tick stop when I trade crude. So this gives me the turns really well. When I'm in a direction, I want to wait for these bottom turns and enter so I get more opportunity before I take a trade off. And the price action band helps me stay with the trend. This is the direction guide. Direction guide, of course, we're above yesterday's settlement, so that would be long. Going into the previous value areas where this is pointing currently. But since I'm in a no trade zone, I have to wait, my rule. Because anything can happen. This is a very narrow range, and I want to wait for that report to come out. So the opportunities are much better to the downside for me today in crude, given that we technically have opened for the fourth day lower outside of each previous range. So I would like to see a turnaround here if possible. I don't know if it'll make it up to this previous VPOC or not before turning back down. My guess, the momentum is leading us there. So that VPOC at 44.81 might be a good turn place. Just depends on this number on retail sales this morning. We get a zero print, and that's going to be bullish for crude. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying that. A zero print is good. Anything with a red, negative, and we can send this back down, my guess. Of course, I need to let y'all know that I'm shaking the magic 8 ball. I have no clue what crude is going to do. I'm just, thinking outside the box and saying, I know that the refineries are going offline to gear up for their winterization, so there's going to be higher inventories. That's pretty obvious. So with a higher inventory and with what the climate is for the oversupply, I would guess that this is as good a time as any to send this back down at this point. Thank you. Y'all have a great day today. Hope we have some great trading.